Faith No More with a couple of guys from the band who themselves have had some trouble with Guns N' Roses because of some of the things they have mentioned to the media, things that appear in magazines like, for example, Melody Maker, a British magazine. This is the August issue from last summer. And they told the media things like Axl Rose is so concerned about losing his hair, he is completely freaked out about it. One night on stage, apparently Duff walked up to Axl and touched his head, and he just went completely nuts on Duff. He doesn't want to lose a single strand. And also he's had a psychic come up and before the performance bless the stage and bless the microphone, and the psychic herself has her own bodyguard. Pretty interesting stuff. This is Faith No More, who will be appearing in Vancouver on January 14th at 86th Street.
My life is falling to pieces. Somebody put me together.
Well, we're always misrepresented. I think it's kind of cool. The cool, fresh thing to do now with our band, I think, is like to play up on our antics and play up on our like sarcastic personalities. They know they can count on us for like talking shit about people and like really stirring up bad stuff. And you know, we'll do it because that's the kind of people we are. But you know, it just makes you think, you know, that when you do that, you know, they're going to use it against you. And like I said, in print, it just looks not like the way you said it at all. It's always going to be just this outlandish thing.
You guys are known for your stage antics. You're really wild, especially in Lake Patton. Do you ever feel that his Mr. Bungle personality sort of takes over Faith No More? Does he ever cross lines with you?
No, I would never call it a Mr. Bungle personality. I mean, he is who he is, and he does what he does. It's himself. And sometimes, you know, he puts himself into Mr. Bungle, and sometimes, you know, put himself into Faith No More. It's him more than anything, you know. It's not like he reserves a certain part of himself for Mr. Bungle.
This is yeah, Faith No More is a lot more serious. Like, his persona is a lot more serious than it is in Mr. Bungle. He puts on characters, but they're serious characters, and Mr. Bungle's like a lot of fun, I think, for him.
What did you guys think when he gave himself that animal last year on stage?
I missed it.
On stage? I was there. I didn't even realize he had done it. I was pretty impressed. Anyone that can do something like that on stage, I'm really impressed with.
I like to add that he was trying to give himself one in the middle of the street afterwards. So,
I was inspired. I couldn't help it. We just we set out to do something different than we did last time. That was like most important to us. We didn't want to do anything that people thought we were going to do. So that was real important. And whether it meant making a record that was going to sell a lot, maybe so.
It's weird. I mean, when you know, the stuff that comes out is the stuff that comes out. You don't decide, you don't pick what kind of music you're going to write. It kind of comes out. So, I mean, I kind of had the feeling we were writing, like, you know, this could be, I like it personally, but I don't know if people are going to get it, or they won't get it, or what. You don't know. But I don't think anybody that puts out a record really knows what's going to happen to a record either. So, I don't think it's any different than anybody else. Well, it's weird, though, because we hear stories about all these bands that, like, you know, they give their roadie a car and stuff like that, and, like, we could never afford to do something like that. We had a platinum record, but we couldn't do that kind of stuff. And I wonder, like, are we just stupid, or what? I always thought if you get to this level, everything would be...
Well, do you have a financial advisor? Do you guys work with a
Sure.
manager?
Yeah, we have an accountant that kind of handles our money. Who knows? Maybe he's put one over on us.
I was going to say, do you trust this accountant?
It's just the image that you always think you'd get. Like, I never really like to believe that stuff, but I always figured, you know, if we ever, because we always thought if we ever had a gold record, you know, and it went platinum, like, oh man, if we ever had a platinum record, then we got one. It's like, gee, you know. We kind of became a rock band by accident on the last record, and we toured for a long time as like a rock band, and we were kind of like living in this rock world, surrounded by like rock cliches. So like, you know, if we're gonna write this next record after touring for 2 years, the last thing we want to do is like resort to rock cliches, you know. So it doesn't come across so much as a blatant rock record. But I don't think it would ever have been one, whether that last record was successful or not. I think those little things about the last record kind of got in our nerves from playing it so much.
Sure.
Well, in the same way, it's kind of a cool thing. I mean, here we put out this record that I don't think is a rock record either, but here we are like touring on this like specifically rock package. I mean, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and Faith No More, and it's totally rock. I think it's kind of a cool dichotomy to like put out a record like this and to be on a tour like this, you know, and like challenging people. Like, can you deal with this? Like, you can deal with Guns N' Roses, like the kind of thing that they do. Can you deal with this sort of record and the stuff that we're going to perform? I think that's a pretty good challenge for people.